is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We get the people. What they want.
The Lobby Boys, New York City legends Jim Jones and Mano will be joining us later. But first, we have sound from two of the stars of tonight's Game 1 of the NBA Finals, Steph Curry and Jason Tatum. Let's listen to what they have to say before the big game.
Pretty impressive that, it all has come together the way it has over the course of the season. I think there was even probably a surprise that we started out this season the way we did. I think we were 18-2 at one point, and I don't think we even understood that it would kind of click that quickly. We got 4 more wins to make it all worth it, but it's a good feeling.
Sometimes you gotta pinch yourself, right? I walk in, I see this backdrop, and it's like, damn, I am in the finals. So I'm just trying to take all this in and just enjoy the moment.
Game 1 is tonight at 9 p.m. on ABC. 8:30, we have Jalen Rose and the Countdown crew. Now, you heard Steph Curry, who's been there before many times, talking about his team and how they clicked early. And then you have Jason Tatum, who's just excited to be there in front of the background and pinching himself. A lot has been made of the difference in finals, not playoff, but finals experience between these two teams. How do you think that'll play out on the court?
Steph and these Warriors get love in the Bay like Mac Dre. And with 3 championships, there's going to be a sense of urgency Game 1 to send a message to the Celtics. None of their players have ever been to the finals. And I saw your guy Al Horford yesterday. We joked about the finger that you pointed out. He said thank you. He appreciated that. He loved the show. And I bring him up because he's going to be switched out on Steph Curry a lot. We're going to talk a lot about Marcus Smart and Wiggins defensively for the Warriors and who's going to guard the best players for either team. But slowing down Steph and slowing down Tatum, that's going to be grade A and B for both teams. And the thing about Steph is he can get his off the ball, catch and shoots, down screens, flare cuts, dribble handoffs. But Jason Tatum is more pick and roll. It's more post-up. It's more isolation. And so on the big stage, I feel like he's ready for it. And I love he wore the Kobe Bryant wristband. That just made me happy. And so his productivity, and then you look deeper into the box score. Can Jaylen Brown play offensively the way he was playing? And then Klay Thompson for the Warriors and Jordan Poole for the Warriors. But the interior guys are going to decide this. Draymond Green, Looney, Kuminga versus Al Horford, Robert Williams III, and Grant Williams. Those trios interior-wise are going to actually decide who wins or loses this series.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why the health of Williams, the Time Lord, is going to be so crucial for the Celtics. When we saw him in Game 7, he was not himself in Miami. Perhaps the rest, the extra couple days, will get him back to that bouncy, moving, switching, blocking shots, getting a rebound force that he is down low. That, to me, is one of the key things that we'll find out early in this series is just how healthy is the Time Lord. You mentioned Draymond Green, and Draymond, as he often does, offered up another great quote. This was to our colleague Marcus Spears. Here's what Draymond had to say, and I quote, "No one has ever beaten us whole, ever. Has not happened yet. In 2016, I got suspended from a game. In 2019, Kevin Durant goes down. No one has ever beat us whole." Now, of course, we all remember what he got suspended for a Game 4 in 2016. That was the little incident with LeBron and the step over and the alleged punch. And then we all know what happened with Kevin Durant in 2019. But Mr. Rose, what do you think of Draymond saying that no one has ever beat us whole?
You know I'm all things historic black movies. And Skippy, Chris Tucker's character in Dead Presidents once said, if I could be where everybody wanted me to be, when everybody wanted me to be there, I'd be confused. And so for Draymond here, in theory, yes, there's accuracy. When they were healthy as a big 3 and as a squad, they did win those 3 championships, including KD. But also, they won the championship multiple times, I'm pretty sure, throughout the Western Conference playoffs, where other teams were dealing with injuries.
Exactly.
Also, when they got to the finals and the Cavs were playing without Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, the step over LeBron was self-inflicted. And so, again, I appreciate him giving confidence and breathing leadership into his squad. And Draymond Green is doing what coaches normally do in the media. So Steve Kerr don't have to do this. The 8-time champion Steve Kerr, who's been to 11 NBA finals as a player and as a coach. Draymond is putting it all on him. You know why that works? Because he doesn't have to be the guy scoring 20 to 25 every night. He's there to do all of the dirty work defensively, but also the smart intellectual plays to get them into their offense on that side. So this is his role to nudge the opponent, to jab the media, to have us talking about what he said about KD, to have us talking about what he said about the previous Warriors team. And then also, he want to remind us how great this dynasty could potentially be overall in the history of the annals of the NBA, especially if they win another championship.
Well, we're going to get to our game one predictions, but off of this Draymond question, it's appropriate now, as we are just hours away from game one of the finals, to give our series predictions. And I have this Warriors core that is whole, winning again. I've got the Warriors taking it at home in game 7, adding to this dynastic run.
I ain't mad at ya. Splash Brothers and Poole. I mentioned the interior play for the Warriors. Brown and Tatum. Marcus Smart at the point for the Celtics. The dynamics of their team changed when they started Marcus Smart, in particular defensively. And I agree with you, that's going to cause a long series. But overall, I've seen Steve Kerr throughout these playoffs infuse confidence in Wiggins. I've seen Looney have big scoring and rebound games. I've seen Kuminga play more minutes getting ready for the NBA Finals. So based on that nurturing already of his roster from within, preparing his squad for the finals, I'm with you, my brother. I also have the Golden State Warriors winning this thing in 7.
Oh, you also have the Golden State Warriors? I got to change mine then. I'm changing mine. We can't have the same prediction. I'm going Warriors in 6. They're going to win it in Boston. They're going to take it on the road. We can't be on the same page like that. I've got the Warriors winning in 6. I'm officially changing my prediction just because it is the same as yours. Jalen, there are so many Jalens on this globe, and you were the very first Jalen, the top of the Jalen pyramids. Seems like every time there's a playoff series, there's another Jalen in one. This one is no different. We had a Jalen and Jalen tete-a-tete. Let's listen to what Mr. Brown told Mr. Rose.
Back in November, I'm watching League Pass. Y'all playing a home game against the Bulls. Y'all got waxed. Marcus Smart, the Defensive Player of the Year, came out and had some comments in the media. How did you guys navigate that at that point of the season?
That was a game we were supposed to win too. We was up. We ended up losing by like 15. So it was tough. We figured out a way we talked it out, and we figured out a way to get on the same page, and ended up working out in the long run.
Whenever people talk about this year's Celtics, they always say, since January 1st, they've been this. Since January 1st, they've been that. But I'm glad you talked with Jalen Brown on what happened in 2021 with this team, because they had a very rough start. What kind of perspective did he offer?
I appreciate him for joining me in that sit down, AKA Juice. And the thing is, I want to make sure I acknowledge my late mother, Jeannie Cassandra Rose, because as you know, she took pride in being the creator of that name and wrote down certain players that she was fans of that carried the name. And coincidentally, Ramsey of the Los Angeles football team, also a Jalen, won the Super Bowl. Now there's a Jalen, 22 years later, after I did it, playing in the NBA Finals. And I know she's smiling down. And she really was a fan of his on and off the floor. And the one thing I also took from that interview, Jacoby, is he talked about how they responded to being waxed. I asked him, everybody talked about breaking up Brown and Tatum. And I went deeper in the box score. You appreciate this, Jacoby. I said, they wasn't talking about breaking up Brown and Tatum. They was talking about trading you. See, that's different That's
point.
vastly different. You know what I mean? And the one thing he said is the energy has shifted. And he tweeted that in January. And they were still hovering around 500. And since then, he said he had an attitude shift. Jason Tatum did as well. Ime Udoka navigated it well. Marcus Smart fell into his role. And now they're in the NBA Finals looking back at the journey, snickering and laughing at people who thought you should break up Brown and Tatum.
It's a great point, Jalen. Great interview. Look forward to watching that. And